Hello and welcome to the Amy
and Kyle
Adventures podcast, also known as the AKA podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all things marriage, mental health and
cycling.
Hey. So if you've watched our YouTube channel, you know that we've recently just come back from Mallorca. So we'll talk a little bit about that today, maybe. And the day this the day this podcast goes out, it'll be exactly 4 weeks till we go around the world.
Yeah, not long now.
How are you feeling about that, Kylie?
Excited. Looking forward to going. Feeling in a good place now.
Yeah.
Feels like we've been talking about it for a long time.
Your legs feeling primed after Mallorca?
They are actually, yeah, they're feeling good. I really enjoyed the sunshine and the weather. And I think it gets to a point where you're just like, yeah, I've trained quite hard now. I'm ready to just get started and see how it goes.
Yeah, we had 7 days in Mallorca and we did over 700 miles. So it averaged out about 100 miles a day, which is less than what we'll do around the world. But we wanted to make it enjoyable rather than kill ourselves off. So we chose to do a little bit less. Because I think at this point, like 4 weeks away, there's not really much more training we can do.
Oh, I mean, you don't want to be increasing any volume now.
No, and that was our last training block,
You certainly don't want to be doing anything too intense.
No, I think if our bodies aren't ready with 4 weeks to go, then we've got a bit of an issue.
And there's no way of priming them ready for this.
No, I don't think you can really. Like my coach obviously he's dead good, but he's obviously never trained anyone to do something as big as what we're doing because it's not normal. Like, how do you train to ride 18,000 miles?
So many people have asked me that question, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and literally we've just been doing long rides at the weekends and then interval sessions in the week to build up some, basically, more fitness, strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
I do that 3 or 4 times a week. But realistically, kind of, in a way, we want to go into the ride not feeling fatigued, obviously as fresh as possible. And you will, in a way, ride into your own fitness as we go, I guess.
That was the words of Mark Beaumont, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He sort of said you could almost, if you've done a relatively large amount of cycling, you could probably turn up to this event and ride yourself into fitness. It wouldn't be the way to do it because you'd more than likely just get injured.
Yeah, you want to have some sort of training in your legs.
18,000 miles basically is the whole year and more what would be a normal year. So you would ride into fitness.
Yeah, the most miles I've ever ridden in a year, I think, was last year. I can't remember how many I did. Did I do like 13,000 or something?
Yeah, and that was with the Tour de France plus a transfer. So
yeah, and that's, I'm going to be doing more than that in just hopefully 5-ish months.
Yeah.
When you put it like that, I think, holy moly.
To make you feel really nervous about me is my biggest year was 9,000.
Yeah.
700,
you're going to be doing double your biggest year in 5 months.
Not quite double, but yeah, nearly.
At least we know for sure that 2026 will probably be the biggest year we ever do on the bike. Mileage-wise.
Ever. Probably never do it again either.
Yeah, because how many miles have you done so far this year?
I've done like 3,300 miles this year, which is quite a lot.
So you're definitely going to do 20,000 miles this year then?
Yeah, like 21,000.
Unless we don't make it through.
If I just stop riding when I finish the end of this.
Yeah, we could just stop riding in September when we finish. I've done 3,896 miles so far.
I'll have a look, see how many miles I've done.
So I'll be on 4,000 miles before we leave.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely going to do 22,000 miles this year.
Well, I'm on 3,126.
Oh, I'm 700 ahead of you.
Yeah, but there was a bit I've been working full time up until.
And you've been ill as well.
Last Friday I was working full time, so.
But you're back up to full fitness now, haven't you?
I am. I like to think so. Feeling good.
You're feeling fighting and strong. Yeah, Mallorca was really good. We did a monster ride one day. Obviously, I don't know, the video's not out, won't be out yet for the monster ride.
No.
It'll be out the next video, I think. So that'll be the next video on Sunday. We did, instead of doing a lap of the island, Nige, our mate from home, who we're actually riding with tomorrow. Hello, Nigel. Don't know if he listens, but if he does, yoo-hoo. He messaged us while we were in Mallorca. We were really set on doing a lap of the island, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
Because obviously it's quite iconic and it's quite cool to go around the whole island. And that's about 300 kilometres. But we were like, we've done it before. And Nige just messaged us and said, why don't instead you do a ride where you visit 12 monasteries? Which I don't think anyone's done before. And I was like, if you send me the route, Nigel, and it's long enough, because I wanted it to be a long ride, then we will do it. Well, obviously, every monastery's on top of a blooming hill. It wasn't quite as long as a lap of the island. It was 179 miles. A lap of the island's about 193. But
Not
it was
far
harder.
off.
It was harder.
Yeah, so less miles, similar elevation, but like the elevation was up and down all day.
Yeah.
And it made for cracking views, but it was just harder because it was like interval training.
I was cracked by the end.
It was a cracking day out. What do you think?
I spent most of the day looking at your crack, to be honest. So I sat behind you. No, actually, I didn't, because we split it. We did the whole day. We did 15 miles each on the front.
Yeah, we did.
So we kept swapping every 15 miles. Obviously, we rode next to each other on bits as well.
Mainly we did ride next to each other on the climbs.
Yeah, on the climbs, obviously, you just go at your own pace. But we kind of decided 15 miles each on the front, which is probably what we'll do when we go around the world.
That was an idea we came up at the start of the week, just to sort of see how that'd feel.
Yeah, and it worked quite well, but I do think obviously we'll try and ride next to each other a bit as well when we can.
Well, in safety terms as well.
Yeah,
like.
it just makes it fair for headwind, but I will say it's slower when I'm on the front.
No, I don't know. I think the consistency is the key.
Yeah, you're stronger.
And it doesn't matter if we go slow with either of us on the front.
Yeah.
As long as we're being consistent.
Yeah, I just have
it's
to
an average at the end
I have to rein you in a bit, because in Mallorca you did go a bit too fast.
No, when you
did. Bearing in mind, all 3 days, we did 200Ks, and then we did the monastery ride, which was about 280K. All 3 were tempo, according to my
Not intentionally by me.
Well, every time you went on the front, I was gasping for air. I don't know if that's a saying or not.
Gasping,
that's what I mean. The speed went up, and I was like, but I'm the sort of person where I will say slow down, obviously, but in my head,
it takes a lot for you to say slow down.
It takes a lot for me to say it, because in my head, I'm like, no, I can keep up.
I know if she says slow down, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. But yeah, I have to learn for around the world to definitely just say, look, Kyle, slow down before it gets too late, because although I didn't come back from Mallorca feeling absolutely cooked, after those rides, I can always tell when I've overdone it a bit, because when I'm in bed at night, I just feel a bit horrible, and like I don't sleep as well. So I know my body's not recovering as well. And my HRV, which is your heart rate variability, was really low after those long rides, whereas normally it wouldn't be that bad. So I had pushed a bit more than I wanted to. But I won't do that on Around the World. I'll just rein you in.
But
I'm going to get a little stick and slap you on your bum.
Yeah, but from my perspective, like my experience of ultra riding is I know that on something like we've just done in Mallorca, I can go a little bit harder than what I would sometimes. But I did take it quite easy for me. If I'm doing something like Paris plus Paris, something like that, I'll go way easier than what I did in Mallorca. So like I know for Around the World, I'll know what's comfortable, and I'll go 2 pegs below that.
So you were only going fast because you knew we were only there for a week?
No, in a way.
Yeah.
But like for Around the World, I know it's 180 days.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I'll knock it 2 pegs below that, even though that's going to feel really easy some days. That's what we need.
Yeah, we've got to go slower than what we want to, so we can keep going.
Yeah, and it'll feel sometimes probably mundane and slow.
Yeah.
But that's how we need it.
But anyway, back to the actual monastery ride. It was basically like interval training, like all day, because you go up, down, up, down, up, down, and then the one we finished on was one called Victoria, which is in Alcudia where we were staying, but we had to go past our hotel to get to it, and it was a steep one, which wasn't long.
It's not very big.
It wasn't long. It's only about a mile long, but it's really steep, and the sun. It was beautiful because the sun was setting. Like, we started off going up Femenia in the sunrise, and it's the most beautiful sunrise I've ever seen. I had to stop and take a photo. And then we finished at sunset. The problem with the 12 Monasteries ride is, in terms of actual speed, you spend quite a lot of time stopping, because obviously at each monastery we wanted to touch it to prove we'd done it and take a photo. So if you add up, like, the 12 monasteries, if you just stop for 5 minutes at each one, that's like an hour. Yeah, an hour of stops. Is that an hour? Yeah, an hour of stopping just for that. Yeah. And then obviously you have to add in...
That's if you only have 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then you have to add in, obviously you're going to stop to eat at somewhere, you're going to stop for a wee or whatever. So
and the views are that good, you want to stop for longer than 5 minutes. Definitely.
So we definitely stopped more than the lap of the island as well. But yeah, with the lap of the island, all the climbing's done within the first half, because you start going over the mountains and then it's kind of flat for the rest of it. Whereas with this one, it's up, down all day.
I think I preferred this one.
Yeah, it was good mentally, because you didn't know what monastery was next, because we didn't really look at the route. We just got it from Nige and put it on a Garmin and went.
Road.
But yeah, it was dead good. But I think next time, because we normally go to Mallorca every year, don't we? We'll go back to Lap of the Island. Just because I like the variety. I feel like we've done the 12 monasteries once now, and if it's always like the novelty wears off, like if you do it again, it will just be mentally a lot harder, I think.
Yeah, because you sort of riding into the unknown when you've never done the route before, don't you? So
Yeah,
it was kind of
which is quite nice. In a way.
nice. Yeah, it sort of you don't know what's coming next. You can sort of look forward to being like, oh, I wonder where we're going.
I love that about riding when you do it.
It's like an exploration sort of thing.
Yeah, I love like routes where you've never been because it kind of keeps your mind occupied, which will be really good on Round the World.
And I feel like it goes quicker.
Yeah, but I also do love like when you know the route as well. I like the mixture. Like, you know, at home when you have your local routes that you really like and you know the roads and you feel relaxed because you know all the corners, you know where the potholes are. You don't feel like you need to be as alert. Well, you do.
You can switch off a little bit.
Yeah, you always have to be alert on the roads because of the cars, but you know.
I know what you're saying. Like you can trudge along and just switch off a little bit mentally.
Yeah, like you know where you're going.
Yeah, like you're not worried about, have I took the wrong turn?
Yeah.
You sort of know where you are, so you can just crack on.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, should we do blip of the week? I've got 2 for me.
Yeah, I remember you saying you had 2
I've got 2 blips this week. So blip of the week is basically something we've done that's silly. I normally always have one because I'm always doing silly things. Kyle normally never has one. But I've got 2 this week. One from in Mallorca and one from before we went.
No, yeah. I know you definitely had 2. But I can't think what mine could be.
Well, you don't have to have one, but I'll tell you mine.
I forgot.
I'll tell you the one from Mallorca first because it's not as funny. The second one's more funny. So my first blip is when we were in Mallorca, there's a lift and there's the stairs. And we always do this thing where if one of us is going to go in the lift, normally Kyle goes in the lift. I'll go up the stairs and I'll try and beat him to the room.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's just satisfaction of the stairs are quicker.
Oh, I know what it is now.
So Kyle was waiting for Kyle clicked the lift button and he was like, he was going to get the stairs, weren't you? And then he was like, no, I'll wait for the lift. So
I want to see what was quicker as well.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to beat you. So like, I didn't run. We never run because that's cheating.
Yeah.
But I like speed walked up. And I was like stood waiting outside the door of our hotel room because Kyle had the key
Looking
for the
very
door.
smug, I bet.
Feeling all smug, like, oh, I've beat him. And then I stood there for ages and I was like, where the hell is he? Why is it taking this long? And then I like heard the lift like opening on the floor above. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm not on the right floor.
And as I was walking to our room, I was like, in my head, I was like, she's not here. She's at the one below. I know it. I literally just knew it straight away. I was like, I know what she's done here.
So I looked on the number on the door and it was 4 and we were on floor 5. So I had to go up another level and Kyle beat me.
When I was just looking at you, knowing exactly what you'd done.
But I would have beat you if I didn't make that mistake.
Well, you never know.
I got too wrapped up in trying to beat you and I forgot how many flights of stairs I got up.
Not so smug, were you, when you came up?
No, I wasn't so smug when I came up. And then my other blip, which is really embarrassing, is... Right, so what was I doing? I come out the shower and I have a habit, not a habit, but I'm quite free in my own house because although we do live on like a cul-de-sac street, the houses don't overlook us.
Yeah, we're not overlooked. No.
Yeah, so quite often I will just walk, not often, but if I've got out the shower or like something like that, I will walk around naked sometimes, right? Not very often. I don't normally go downstairs, but on this occasion I did. I don't know why. I got out the shower and I think I needed something I needed my phone charger or something from downstairs. And I literally ran downstairs to get the phone charger completely naked. And the phone charger was in the kitchen, so I could plug my phone in upstairs while I was getting ready. And as I was in the kitchen unplugging the phone charger, I heard this shoo, shoo, shoo sound. And it was the window cleaner at the back door. But luckily, where I was stood, you couldn't see me. But I knew it was there because Chester was barking and I could hear the sound. And I was like, oh, geez, like, what the hell am I going to do? So, literally, I knew the next window he was coming to, he was going to see me fully butt naked. And I had no towel with me or anything. And I was like, oh, the hell have I done this? And I was in a massive rush because I was going out as well. And that's why I needed my phone charger, I think. So I was like, right, the only way to get out the kitchen, we've got a big island in the middle of the kitchen. And the kitchen door... The problem is, to get out the kitchen door, if he looked, he would see. He would see me from where he was at that point. But if I didn't move to the kitchen door, he was definitely going to see me when he moved to the next window. So I crawled round the back of the island and I was behind the island so he couldn't see me at all where he was. And then there was hanging up, there was some tea towels. So I tried to like get a tea towel, see if it would cover me, but obviously it was way too small to cover. It could only cover one bit of me. So I just had to like wait. And I saw him go up the ladder and I was like, right, this is my moment. And I literally just ran through the hall and upstairs. And I was like, oh no, would he be able to see me from the upstairs window? But it was at a different one. So he wasn't at the one where he could see me. So I literally ran into the bedroom, shut the door and quickly got changed. But I was thinking, imagine if I was getting changed in the bedroom and he just came up. He would have been able to see me in there.
Yeah, but most people are quite aware when a window cleaner is washing the windows. So you could literally look out the window and see that there's a window cleaner and shut the curtain. Yeah, not many people are that oblivious.
I bet people have been caught out by the window cleaner.
No, I'm sure they have, but...
Because imagine if you're just in your bedroom getting changed and then, you might not know they're here and they just all of a sudden pop up the ladder. I bet that's why the window cleaners. But they love going around the houses.
Or they might be trying to make a living.
Yeah. I think they should knock on your door first and say, oh, just let you know we're here.
I think some of them do.
Well, ours doesn't.
Yeah, but you don't pay a lot of attention. You don't even hear the door when we're in.
They definitely didn't. Oh, maybe they knocked. No, they definitely don't ever knock. I know they don't. So now I'm always really worried about it, thinking, oh no. I don't want to get seen naked by the window cleaner.
You would have been all right.
Honestly, I was so lucky they didn't see me.
Yeah, you would have been all right a couple of weeks prior because the gate was locked and they couldn't go around the side.
No, they only did the front, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Have you had any blips?
I was just trying to think if I've had any blips, but I can't think of anything.
I don't think you have.
No.
You did say something stupid the other day, but I can't think what it was now.
Yeah.
You remember? I was like,
Mallorca,
yeah.
I usually don't have anything to report, but there was like, actually, this time we have.
You did do something
and
silly.
That's what I'm trying to think. I can't remember.
I can't remember what it was. No.
No, it's not coming to me. It
Gone.
can't have been that good.
No.
So, sorry about that.
Should we move on to the moan of the week?
I'll let you go first.
Okay, you can time me. Moan minute is basically where we moan about anything we want for a minute because it helps to get the moan out. It's a bit of a joke. We don't like to complain too much, but it's a bit fun.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel better when you get your moans out. Right, you ready, Kyle?
Yeah.
I've got two, so I'm going to have to do them really quick, 30 seconds each.
Right. 3, 2, 1.
First moan is people on a flight putting their rucksack in the overhead locker instead of their suitcase. Put your rucksack under your seat, not in the overhead. Basically, there was so many people did that. We had to put our suitcases about 10 rows ahead of us. So when we got off the plane, it was a right blooming nightmare trying to get past everyone back out, basically last off the plane, just because people don't want their rucksack under their seat. I'm sorry, mate. I've paid for a suitcase and I've paid for my space in the overhead cabin. Okay? Next moan is people in big groups or just individuals on bikes, to be honest, that race to go past you. This happened so many times in Mallorca. They go past you really fast because they're all like, oh, they want to go past you. Then they immediately dwindle and slow down and then you're just stuck behind them. It's like, why have you made all that effort to race past me to then slow down and get in my way, basically? And now I'm stuck behind you. And then it's just awkward because then you have to go back past them and they don't like it. And then they try and stick on your back wheel and then you burn them off and you wave goodbye. But it's just annoying. Just stay behind me, mate. That's it, really. Did quite well with that. Do you agree with them?
I do. I do really like that one, actually. I forgot about the overhead locker one. That's actually
it was really annoying.
But that then actually gives me a moment.
Oh, have you got one now?
I've got one now.
Right.
Because we've spent a bit of time in the airport, I've actually got one.
All right. I'll time you then. I mean, we can't really moan because it's a privilege to be able to go away and go on a flight. But
you can still moan.
You can moan about anything, really. Right. 3, 2, 1, action.
My moan minute is when you get off the plane and you're heading towards passport control. And there was a couple, a bit older, this couple, that would refuse to let me go past them, even though they fully knew that you, in front of them, had my passport. And I tried to go round him, and he immediately steps that close in front of me. I kicked his own foot. And then when I tried to go round him, because we was on the runway bit, then I got told off by the people at the airport for trying to go round. But I knew full well that I needed to be with you because you had my passport. So what's the problem? Like, one person, if you know I'm with someone, then it wouldn't have made any difference. And then she weren't too happy because she couldn't get through the passport control as quick as me.
Yeah, and that I agree with that. And the funny thing is, the only reason they were in front of you and I was in front of them is because they pushed past you on the plane.
Yeah, I was actually kind enough to be like...
Yeah, you let them out, and they were like so in a rush that literally they were like breathing as we were walking down the actual runway bit into the airport. loads of people in front of me, so everyone was just walking slow, which it's a bit annoying, but it doesn't really matter because you're all going to be in a queue in a minute anyway to scan your blooming passport. She was walking so close behind me to try and get past.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you're not letting Kyle pass, so I'm not letting you pass, mate.
Yeah.
So I just walked with my suitcase really far out so she couldn't get past me.
Yeah,
and
she
then
was
they were
not happy
really
at all.
annoyed. And then when we went through the luggage bit, they were like pushing everyone out of the way. And I'm not joking, they might as well have crawled into the hole that the luggage comes out of. They were that close to it, or basically putting their head in it to get the luggage out. And then they bustling through the airport, shaking their heads when people were getting in the way. So yeah, it wasn't ideal really. But then again, you never know. There might have been an emergency and they needed to get home, but
I'm not
they don't
sure.
need to be rude about it.
I'm not sure that's what was up with them.
I think they were just in a rush and they wanted to get home.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, Chester just interrupted us with bringing all his toys to us.
Yeah.
He wants some attention.
Yeah, I think he was getting a bit jealous of the podcast.
Speaking of Chester, we've just come back from a little night away with him, haven't we? Because it was my birthday the day after we got back from Mallorca. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but it does feel weird to say that I'm now part of the 30s club. Turned the big 3-0.
You don't look 30, mind.
I know everyone always says, I know I look about 15. I literally look about... No, I think realistically, how old do I look, Kyle? What would you say? If you didn't know
I'd say
me.
like 25.
Yeah, that's okay. Someone the other day said I look 15. I was like, excuse me, mate. But then I just think, well, you know what? When I'm ancient, I'll still look young, so I don't mind. But I have always looked young for my age. I used to be really self-conscious about that, actually, at school.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
I was a late developer. I used to, honestly, at school, I used to hate it. I used to think I looked so young and I used to feel really embarrassed. And now I'm not really bothered because, I'm 30 now. You live and you learn.
30 and flirty.
What's that thing my sister said? 30, flirty, vibing. I don't know.
I'm not sure what
Something like that anyway. But Kyle, you really did pull it out of the bag for my birthday, didn't you?
Well, I'm glad you said that, yeah.
He did
That
some
was my
surprises
target.
for me. So on my birthday, I didn't know what we were doing, but basically we went on a really nice walk with my family and the dog, with Chesty Bow and their dogs. But before the walk, he told me we're going to a cafe for brunch or
I made out
cake.
your dad just planned us to go for a breakfast.
And when we got there, all my friends were there and it was really nice.
Yeah.
And then we had a walk and then in the evening we went out for a meal, didn't we?
We did.
And then the next day, Kyle took me away for a night in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Near Skipton.
Yeah.
And we stayed for a night and it was really nice, dog friendly. They had a dog agility course, which is absolutely hilarious. We took Chester on it and he'd never done it before. And we tried to get him to go through the tunnel and Kyle crawled through it, didn't you?
Yeah.
And he
Trying to encourage him.
And you pulled his lead and he came through.
Yeah. And he was very proud of himself.
It was really nice. And then we just went walking on the Yorkshire moors. It was just
Mm-hmm.
lovely, really. Obviously, you'd think I'd want to spend my birthday cycling, but actually, because we'd just come back from Mallorca, all I really wanted to do was just spend time with my family and Chester. So it was perfect, really.
And I thought, even if you didn't want to, you needed to relax a little bit. So.
Yeah. And I just want to spend as much time now with my family and friends in Chester before we go.
And the other thing I've got,
Oh, and he's also booked me a spa day with my mum and my sister, which is so nice because they always say, I'd much rather have experiences over possessions because that's what you can take with you. You can have as many things as you want and can afford, but my happiest things is thinking about things we've done and memories that we have, and that's the most important thing in life. And that's why I'm trying to spend as much time as I can with my friends and Chesty Boy, because it kind of keeps hitting me that we're going and I'm not going to see people for so long. It's the longest time I've ever been away.
And also you got to deal with me for 150 days straight, so...
I know, I'm not going to have any let up from each other. But I will miss Chester, I know that, because I missed him when we were in Mallorca.
Yeah, I always miss Chester.
He's going to Carl's grandma and granddad, so we're going to have to ask them to send us photos of him and things.
Regular updates, monthly updates.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at him now. But I know that this adventure will be so good.
Yeah.
And it'll be worth it. And like I always say, you only live once. I never in a million years, if you told me 5 years ago we'd be going around the world, I'd say not a chance in hell. I couldn't think of anything worse. All the unknowns and all the things that can go wrong and all the planning it takes, but we're going.
We're doing it.
We've got to think.
You can only do it once. Well, you could do it more than once, I suppose,
but
I won't be.
No. And I'm thinking, instead of thinking what can go wrong, think what can go right.
And this comes also from a bit of what you said before about when you look back on your life, when you sat in an armchair, when you're old, and you look back on your life and think, what have I done? this can be one of those exact things where you're like, how many people can say, I got on my bike and I rode as quickly as I possibly could, but not exactly around the world, but for a world record, but seeing all these places and actually, yeah, what an
Challenge
experience
myself.
that'll be, and challenge, because this isn't going to be easy, and we're not doing it for a holiday.
No, it's definitely not
But
a
it's
holiday.
definitely something we're going to look back on with fond memories, hopefully.
Yeah, there's going to be hard times, but there's going to be amazing times as well. And obviously we want to raise as much money as possible for Shout, who's a mental health charity. The link for the charity donations is now on. So if you want to donate, that'd be amazing. We want to try and raise £100,000 for them. But what we would say is we like people to donate while we're riding. Obviously you can go on and donate now if you want to, but I think it'll be a good motivator for us to see the money donations coming in while we're actually on the road. Obviously if you can't afford to donate, don't. We don't want you to put yourself out.
We appreciate all the support.
Yeah.
Regardless.
But if you can afford 50p, it's better than nothing.
Exactly.
We just want to help as many people as we can. And yeah, so, obviously we're not doing it lightly. We're going to put ourselves probably in pain, challenge ourselves because, that's going to help us raise as much for the charity. But also we want to get the record and do the best that we can and say that we have left it all out there and come home feeling like, yeah, we couldn't have done any more.
Yeah, that's exactly how I want to feel.
Yeah.
But also, like, going back to what you said before about the charity, this is going to be the biggest challenge we'll most likely ever do. And if I want to make myself suffer in a way, because people suffer more with mental illness. So, yeah, raise as much money as possible to really help them.
Yeah. I think no matter how hard it is, it's never as hard. It's never going to be as hard as it is for someone who's lost someone to suicide or someone that's really struggling with their mental health, so we have to keep that perspective. And on the flip side as well, like, we only get this opportunity once, so it might be that we're out there and we think, do you know what, this is a really nice place, let's just slow down today, let's have a day off and enjoy it, because it's not just all about go, we've got to actually look after ourselves as well.
We have.
And yes, I want to come home thinking I couldn't have done any more, but I also don't want to come home thinking I hated every minute of that. I was, really hard pushing every day. Yes, it will be really hard, but I don't want every day to be too hard, because I want to look back at it with good memories. I don't want to look back at it thinking that was horrible, because 5 months is quite a lot of your life. But I don't think we will, because even when last year we cycled to Prague, and that was horrible in the rain and torrential rain. We did like 200 miles in torrential rain one of the days.
And you could say some of those days
were horrendous. But I look back at that with fond memories.
So do
because
I.
we still had really good time.
I feel, and we stayed positive, weirdly. And people always say I'm a negative person, but there was a day of like 2 back-to-back 300k days. I remember that, and it chucked it down for both of them. And not once did I really moan.
No.
I just kept my head down. We kept talking. We kept doing things, and that's where it really worked, because we just got together as a team.
Yeah.
Not tried to get down about it. And don't get me wrong, it's easy to, and you will do.
Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs, definitely.
When you step away from it and you get back, and you all you can remember is the good bit. So I feel like that's what's going to happen with this.
Definitely. And I think we're going to have a little list of rules, aren't we? And one of them is going to be about trying to be as positive as possible, bring each other up.
But we are human.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be negative times. That's normal. But we will be videoing it all, so you can see us struggle. Yeah. You can laugh at us having meltdowns, because there definitely will be a few.
Yeah.
But I think in a weird way, I just love being out in all the elements. I know it's really weird, but like, obviously you don't want it to rain, you don't want to have headwind, but in a weird way, it does kind of make you feel alive and like really in the elements. And I sometimes do thrive on like a rainy, horrible ride.
I think I do to a degree when it's not relentless. Because it's weird, because sometimes when it's belting it down, you're sort of like, right, I'm in the zone, I'm just going
it makes you go a bit faster.
Get to the finish, like you feel like you're just ploughing on. But then when it's just relentless for like...
So everyone has a limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there was a day in Mallorca, the day after the big ride, we set off in the morning, didn't we? And it was raining and horrible going up that climb, and it was... And then you're coming down, and we were coming down a descent, and it was raining, and it felt really cold. Yeah. But in a weird way, I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I didn't.
You didn't. You hated it.
I don't like the cold.
But like, no, it's like kind of makes me feel alive. And I think it goes back to like, I don't like it all the time. I'd much rather have a sunny sunny ride with no wind. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want that. I'm not wishing for that weather at all. But I think I have this thing in me where I've just got just get through it, embrace it. But like, I think it all stems back to when I started cycling, when I was at my lowest, and I felt there was times when like, I literally felt nothing. Like I just felt numb to everything. Obviously, I went through a state of like really bad anxiety when it all came to a head. I had like constant anxiety, like constantly on edge, feeling like really nervous all the time and like something bad was going to happen, and I couldn't switch my thoughts off. My head was 100 miles an hour and everything was just really horrible. After that, I kind of went into a real low, and occasionally I still get it, like every month, to be honest. Being a woman, there's a certain time of the month, just don't come near me, otherwise I'll bite your head off.
I can vouch for that.
But I go through like these periods, not as much anymore, but when I was really bad, I went just completely numb to everything. I feel like I don't care about anything. Nothing matters, but at the same time it does. It's a weird state of mind, just feeling numb and like don't want to be here and what's the point, and don't feel happy, don't feel sad, just feel nothing. But I'd go on my bike, and if it was raining or really windy, you do feel something. Like it gives you that feeling of I'm alive, and you know I'm in this rain, and it just makes you feel alive in a weird way. It like shocks your system into, you are feeling something, you are alive, you are here, let's get through this rain. And that helped me when I was poorly. And I think maybe that's why it gives me this little adrenaline buzz, I think, being in the rain and the wind and the... But only for so often, like maybe an hour, and then I'm done with it now. I'm like, stop raining now.
On that same sort of note, there's been... No, it's not very often I look at comments, but there's always been a few comments on the YouTube, like saying... There was one in particular that stood out to me about... I don't think they'll even get halfway.
Oh, I saw that.
They went on a ride the other week and they turned around. And it spurs me on because what did frustrate me slightly about the comment, but also made me laugh, is they don't know me well enough. Because in that moment, I could turn around.
Yeah.
But they don't know my past. They don't know that I've struggled myself. I've slept rough. So there's been comments like, oh, of course they're going to be in hotels every night. They've got all this plush life. I come from a background where I've slept rough. I wasn't brought up in a nice environment. And then you get people just assuming that you've got this glam lifestyle and it's just going to be this super like easy, the posh hotels.
I've slept in 3 graveyards and 2 bus shelters on my bikepacking trips, I'll have you know, mate.
But
and I will happily do it again.
But like it's the same thing as you. We're both suffered in different ways.
Yeah.
And some people that make negative comments don't realise that we've both suffered and we know how to suffer in a weird way. And that will drive us.
Yeah, I think like you're one of the most determined people I know, and I think it's the same for you with me. Like we're both so determined, sometimes too determined for our own good. And that ride where we turned round, we did turn round because we were both absolutely frozen. Yeah. It was a lot colder than expected, and we thought,
where's the benefit of that?
We still did 80 miles in the torrential rain when the cafe was so shocked we were out, they gave us free drinks. That's how bad it was. And we could have kept going and finished that ride, but we were actually being sensible. Around the world, yes, we would have to keep going on that ride, but we're going away the next week for a big training block. We both just said, what is the actual benefit of staying out for another 5 hours? Because
what we had to think about logically was, we could have stayed out, but where would the training benefit be? Because we're just going to make our immunity low, potentially get ill, and then that's going to scupper things longer down the line. Yeah. So it was actually the sensible head for once in our life where it was like, actually, we need to be wary of this.
Yeah, I think 5 hours in the rain. I think we still did 6 hours.
It was very, very
And
cold.
like on Round the World, we'd have panniers, everything with us. We could stop, layer up, put 10 more layers on if we needed to out of our bags. You don't have that on a normal day ride. So, But I think the negative comments, I like them. They spur me on. When I did Tour de France, I had so many comments saying, she'll never do it. It's too... it's way too far. She's just an influencer. She doesn't know what she's doing. So when I struggled on Tour de France, those comments were great because I just thought about them and it made me not want to quit.
It just made me think, like, keep assuming that you know my mentality. You don't know me as a person if that's what you think.
Yeah, and also we have to remember, like, I think with the YouTube and stuff, because we are just completely ourselves and we do show a lot of our lives, people think they know us. But realistically, like, even the rides going out on Sunday, the 12 monasteries ride, that was a 12-hour day, was it? Something like that? Yeah. Overall, from including all our stops.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So I think ride time was like 10 hours or something, but the actual whole day from leaving the hotel to getting back, it was like 12 hours. The video is like 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
So you're seeing 40 minutes, or even, I think it might only be half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing half an hour of a 12-hour day. So you're not seeing like everything.
You're not seeing things like, also like when you're getting comments about planning and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You don't see the meticulous planning because
No.
we haven't got time to
Oh,
make a video
trust
that
me,
long.
I have spent hours and hours. My spreadsheet, I've got options to stop. I mean, someone commented the other day, like, I don't think you realise how remote it is where you're going. Oh, yes, mate, I do. I've got a spreadsheet telling me exactly where we could potentially stop, telling me, like, I've got red colour codes for, right, tomorrow there's only one stop, it's 94 miles in, it's a petrol station, it might not be open, so we need to stock up. Like, we're going to have emergency meals in our bags. We're not silly. Like, we've got
Like,
first aid
Amy's
kit.
very, very meticulous.
Yeah, the thing with me is I used to be a nurse as well in mental health. I know about risk. I know I come across silly on YouTube. Yeah, that's my silly side. But I have a real serious side as well. I am good at planning, not to blow my own trumpet.
No, you're
But
exceptional, actually.
I'm an organised planner. So we've got everything, like, you know, I've got a spreadsheet. I've got people on call at home that can help. Like, if a flight gets delayed, if something gets missed, we've got a schedule of who we call. We've got spare phone with us, different SIM card for each country. We've got a Garmin in reach, so we press the red button, emergency services can come to us, or alerted if we've got no signal. Like, I've literally thought about everything, you know. So yeah, although I'm, you know, I am silly and I have fun, I do have a brain.
We do have a lot of good advice and good people around us as well to
Yeah.
know. I mean, we're very fortunate to know a couple that have the tandem world record for going around the world. So, like, if anyone's going to give us sound advice, it'd be people like that we really do listen to.
Yeah.
So, although it's nice to hear different opinions, sometimes when you get negative comments, you're like telling us what we're doing wrong, or
but
you're not going to make it. And
and I think some people it's from a nice way. They want to help, which is good.
Oh yeah, I appreciate the advice.
Yeah, I appreciate the advice ones because it does make us think about things we've not thought about. Yeah, I mean, every day I take Chester on a walk, I've been listening to so many podcasts of endurance cyclists. Obviously, I've listened to all of like Leo Wilcox ones and things like that. I've listened to as many podcasts as I can. I've watched so many videos. I've had my bike mechanic lessons. Bike mechanics is the one thing that does worry me. You've got your lessons, haven't you, Kyle?
Luckily, you've got a builder in your team.
Yeah, you can prepare as much as you want, but there's things on the road that you just can't control. And we can't, you know, there's definitely going to be something that we forget or think, oh, we didn't think of this and now we're screwed or whatever. But, you know, that's part of the adventure and we've planned as much as we can and that's all we can do. All we can do is plan as best as possible. Obviously, we've got the best insurance that we can get as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have really thought about this and we have thought about the rest of the worst case of what can go wrong. And we spoke about that, haven't we?
Yeah, of course.
And it's scary, but you can't live your life worrying about that because, you know, I could go on a run tomorrow and get hit by a car.
You can't.
So, obviously, hopefully not. And, you know,
you're more of a worrier than me.
Yeah.
And I always have to remind you that you don't live your life on this could happen.
Yeah.
Because what sort of life are you going to live if you just... I've worked on a building site for God knows how many years. I could have had an accident at work.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many risks in everything that you do. And yes, this is a risk, but it's something that we want to do. We want to raise money. We do appreciate all of you.
Yeah.
It's amazing, the support.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So this isn't a rant,
helped.
but this is... I do want to keep the negative comments coming because...
Yeah, keep them coming, guys.
It is a big driver for me.
Yeah.
You know, we will prove you wrong.
I love proving people wrong. It's one of mine.
And we will.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like doing that. So yeah, so if you are one of the negative people won't be listening to this, let's be honest. And thanks to everyone that's offered to help us along the way. Again, I'll put the link to our route in the description of this podcast. Ignore the bit from Istanbul to Georgia. We've now changed that. We're now going to be flying from Istanbul to Bangkok and riding from Bangkok to Singapore. But if along the route we're coming nearby to you, please come along, give us a wave. We won't be able to stop really, but you know, if you want to ride behind us for a bit, you're more than welcome.
That'll be a huge boost.
If you want to feed Kyle some sweets,
I'll be very happy to see people on the road.
Yeah.
So please feel free to give us support where you can.
Yeah.
That'd be huge.
It'd be really nice. And yeah, obviously come and see us off as well, but we'll be a few more podcasts before we go. And we are hoping to do a podcast every week while we're away. So these will still be going out. And also we're going to hopefully do a YouTube live for like 10 minutes every week, either on a Friday, Saturday or Sunday night.
See us in action.
Yeah, so you can actually come on the YouTube live. We'll probably look an absolute state, but you can come and say hi and ask us some questions. And that's just a way of us keeping you in the loop with what's happening, if you care. You might not, but...
Probably
I
won't.
know my mum listens to this, so she can come on the YouTube live and ask us some questions. We'll have to show her how to do it.
I usually know how to moan about your mum until I realise she listens to the podcast. So
Yeah, you got
now I
told
keep
off.
it on a down low. Usually that's my moan minute.
You've got to thank my mum today, actually, haven't you?
Thank you, Mum.
Yeah, what did she give you today?
Oh yeah, she gave me some eggs.
Yeah.
And local eggs, which is specifically what I like.
She gave us 12 eggs today, but you didn't like one of them.
No, but that was
You
me.
spat one out.
Yeah, I think that was my own doing. I dropped a shell of one of the eggs into the water, and these are unwashed eggs.
Had poo on it.
So one of them had a bit of not a great taste. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so basically Kyle ate chicken poo on his toast.
Protein's protein.
Yeah.
So we'll leave you with that.
Should we finish with one thing you love about me, one thing you lump about me?
Yeah, got that.
We'll finish off with that. We like to do this. It's basically you say one thing you love about each other and one thing you don't really like, but you lump it because you love him. So my lump and love for you is how much care and attention you took for my birthday, because I didn't expect that, and that's really nice how thoughtful you are of including all my friends and family and managing to organise all of that. I was quite impressed actually.
I'm not usually very good at that.
No, you're not. So that's one thing I love about you is how thoughtful you are. Well, you're not that thoughtful, but you were on this occasion.
Yeah.
You proved that you're thoughtful. I love that about you, that you thought about me a lot and you treated me. And one thing I lump about you is, this week this is rare for you, but today you've been talking so much. I know it's normally me that does that. I think it's because it's your first day off work and maybe you feel like you need to be doing something and like explaining what you're doing. But all day, all you've done is like, tell me what you're doing. And I'm like, you don't need to keep that. I think I do this to you though, so now I get it. But like, you don't need to tell me what you're doing. It's okay. Like, I know you're doing stuff.
You do that all day, every day.
I know I do, and now I know how annoying it is.
Now that leads on to my lump.
Go on then.
My lump of you is trying to plan out my day. So obviously I finished work. It's been very full on up until now. Last night she went, just because you're off work now, you're getting up at 6:30. I went, why?
To walk the dog with me?
Yeah, and I was thinking, no, you just want me to be up at 6:30 because I'm here.
No, I'm just thinking, you're off work to help out with planning for around the world. So if I get up because I make myself get up at 6:30 to stay in a routine, because that's what time you get up to go for work. I was like, you're not going to be lying in every day now, living a life of Riley.
Then I made the point of today, we've done loads together.
We have.
We've been very busy, getting stuff done. And now she's not liked it because I've not stopped talking. But one thing I do love about you is you are very meticulous in what you do. And without you, a lot of this wouldn't be possible. So yeah, that's one thing I love about you, that your attention to detail is very good. And you think about things that I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
So that's very fortunate. I'm a bit more carefree, a bit more just go with the flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. Going on to that, talking so much all day, it's probably because it is my first proper day off work. And I'm a very lost soul if I'm not busy.
Yeah.
And I feel I struggle with it really.
That's the same as me, but that's why I'm very busy, so I don't struggle.
So now I've actually downloaded a planner on my phone, so I know what I'm going to do each day.
But now you'll realise how busy I am, and you can help me with stuff. So
no, but I've always known how busy you are.
You can edit this podcast.
I've never denied I know how busy you are.
No, I know, but I'm saying you can edit this podcast if you want.
That's fine.
That's why I was helping you to get up at 6:30. I thought, we'll like his routine and structure.
Yeah, well, you can leave me be at 6:30. You know I don't talk all of that time.
No, I didn't wake you up. I got up at 6:30, and what did I do?
I woke up at 7.
You woke up at 7. I got up at 6:30. Oh, I made an Instagram post and fed Chester.
For me, I think 7:30 is acceptable.
No, I always do the same routine every morning. Get up, no phone, lymphatic drainage, wash my face, and breath work. I try and do that every day. But to be honest, it only normally happens about once a week because I get too busy. But I try. I did it this morning. You laugh at me when I do lymphatic drainage, don't you?
Yeah, I sort of don't like it as well when you're upstairs and you're jumping around. I'm like, flipping, I could just put these steels in this new kitchen.
I never knew about it.
I reckon you're shaking the house lower.
I never knew about it, but basically I found it apparently there's loads of research that in the morning if you get up and do lymphatic drainage, it's basically you rub certain parts of your body, like your collarbone, behind your ears. It's like your stomach. You wobble your stomach a bit, kind of helps movement down there. And then it's behind your knees, behind your ankles. And then you do 100 little jumps up and down. Just Google it basically if you want to know about it. I don't know the ins and outs. But then I always wonder, because it's to help remove the toxins that build up overnight. And obviously it's research, it's obviously good. And I've been doing it for like a month now, and I do feel like it's good in the morning. Gets me moving. But I'm thinking, where am I moving the toxins to?
Your big toe.
Because, yeah, you're moving
I
that.
used to do it.
It's where your lymph nodes are. But I'm like, yeah, I'm moving them. So where are these toxins going? Because they're still in my body.
Probably going to excrete. I think I used to do it, and they all went to my big toes.
That's why your toes are so big.
So now I've got bulbous toxic big toes.
You have. They're
So
massive.
Don't do it, is my recommendation, because you will end up with bulbous toes.
No, it is good. And also in the morning, what's really good is getting some sunlight.
Yeah.
And now it's light in the morning, and it's so good. And it's 6 p.m. right now, and it's still light.
Talking to 6 p.m, I've got a puncture to sort out ready for a ride with Nigel tomorrow.
Yeah, we're riding tomorrow, so we better go. I'll cook dinner. We're having chicken tonight. You've got an option whether you want it with mash and veg, or whether you want it as more of like pasta, or noodles, or rice.
Mash.
Mash. I knew you'd say that.
I love mash.
You're a mash man, aren't you?
I'm a masher.
I love sweet potato. Right, anyway, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you on the next one. No, we won't see you. You'll hear us.
You'll hear. Yeah, I never know what to say on that one.
You'll hear us on the next one. Bye.
Blue.